Welcome back to Big Mouth E, where I spotlight the stories behind Charlotte's best kept secrets. Today, we're at Kristy's Creole kitchen talking with Chef Kristy about how she brought her Louisiana roots to the Queen City. You don't want to miss this one, so make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Kristy from Kristy's Creole Kitchen here in Charlotte, North Carolina, inside the City Kitchen. And I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we are serving up some good Creole food.
So I'm talking about. Okay, and so let's just get a little bit into like your past. Like, you know, I ask the chefs all the time, what is the first dish you remember cooking as a kid or, you know, whenever you started your cooking journey?
So I think I remember the first dish. I want to say it was spaghetti.
Spaghetti? Okay.
Yeah. I want to say it was spaghetti.
What age was this at, if you remember?
Probably around 16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't get in the kitchen too early, but around teenage years, I was in the kitchen. But we love spaghetti, so my mom didn't eat it. So if you wanted it, you had to cook it.
You had to make it yourself.
So, yeah.
So did you grow up in a household full of cooks, people who like cook?
Yeah, so my dad was a butcher.
Okay.
Well, let me just say he was a butcher by hobby.
I got you.
Because he was head state electrician for the state of Louisiana for years. Yeah. And then, you know, he was a sous chef. Mm-hmm. My mom was just a good old country girl who loved to cook. All her sisters loved to cook. So, you know, I kind of got it honestly.
Just got it by trade, okay. And so when did you, have you always been like a full-time chef, or what does your career path look like?
I've been in the hospitality industry for 26 years.
Wow,
I've been running hotels. Mm-hmm. For the last 10 years, I was traveling as task force manager of hotels.
Okay.
So I've been everywhere, probably 38 of the 50 states, all the way to Hawaii. All the way to Hawaii. Uh-huh. I called myself the cleanup lady. I would go and fix things. Different hotels that were losing their flags. I would go in and basically start from scratch and get it cleaned up, get the staff cleaned up. That's what I've been doing. How did that transfer
into, you know, what we got going on here now in Charlotte?
Well, I always wanted a food truck. So I recently moved to Charlotte about a year and a half ago. Started a new relationship and was just continuously talking about a food truck. Yeah. I never knew about the ghost kitchen aspect until he told me about it. So we came and checked this place out, and here we are.
Here we are. How do you think that you was, you know, versus like this type of kitchen versus like let's say a regular like standalone restaurant? How do you think that they differ in like how they operate and how like, you know, you see customers attracted to each of them?
Well, so it's a little different for me because I never ran restaurants. I always had restaurants inside of my hotel. Gotcha. But it was complimentary breakfast. There were one or two, like the courtyards, they had bistros. So, you know, I've opened several courtyards. Yeah. Renovated several bistros. So I did have some food background. I just never actually ran a restaurant. I was responsible for a restaurant, but I never ran it. I mean, I had kitchen managers and restaurant managers. So, you know, I knew what my food cost should be, and I knew how to do it if I could jump in, but I didn't do it full time.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So, like a lot of chefs I've talked to, it was kind of like the opposite. Like they knew the food, they knew, you know, the restaurant wise, but you kind of, you said, like from what I understand, you knew like the business side first. Yes. And then, you know, of course, you knew how to cook and whatnot, so you kind of paired those two together. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
And I know the ins and outs of the kitchen. It was just mainly complimentary food. Yeah. You know, I already cooked food that we were just giving to the guests. So, and when I catered, I didn't have to hold or hot. I mean, you cook it, you send it, and that's it. You clean up. That was pretty much it.
So why did you want to bring your New Orleans style food to Charlotte? What do you feel like that was something missing in Charlotte?
Well, actually, I just really wanted a food truck. Yeah. And that was something to just bring that kind of cuisine here. When we talked about opening up, we probably went to every Creole restaurant here in Charlotte, and I'm like, this is just not it. Yeah. This is just not it. This is just not it. Okay. So that motivated me even more because I'm like, you know, I had catfish that wasn't real catfish, and the seasoning was not Louisiana seasoning, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
Right. I just want to point out one thing. So I lived in Charleston. Now those are grits. now a lot of times I've been growing up in Charleston. We have stone ground grits. And I'm sure those are of that nature. And so when I came to northern places, like the New York, the Ohio's. you get like the kind of like the Quaker oat grits. I'm like, ooh, these are not the same as I'm accustomed to. And so anytime I see like the stone ground grits, luckily Charlotte's pretty good at that. Like most places in Charlotte, they use the stone ground grits. So I'm glad to see the grits are nice and creamy. So I'm definitely excited to try those.
I'm gonna get you some sauce on in just a second. I had to let her get those. I couldn't whip them up with my elbow. But I'm gonna get your po' boy started. And we use Gambino's bread from Louisiana. It's a bakery in Louisiana. Okay. So it is fresh.
It looks fresh. They're very fluffy. So how have you seen your response customer-wise?
Well, I'm just going to be honest. So when we started in April, I felt defeated. Yeah. I knew it wasn't going to catch overnight, but some days were nothing. Some days were a little, and you working 16-hour days. You come from making a decent salary to opening your own business, and then you may make $200 and you've worked 16 hours. So I was like, I need to go back to work. So I started looking for a job. But my boyfriend was very diligent with content creators. Yeah. He started getting different content creators. Okay. And it was several that really, the Miller Request. Yeah. Corey and CLT guy. And after and then we just had some people that we didn't pay, you know, they just did some real food reviews and they had a following and it blew up. Yeah. June, fast forward to June, from April to June, I think it was over 200%.
That's
difference.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So now it's like, it went from, I did a motivational Monday last Monday because I called my boyfriend and I was like, we need to do a now hiring video. Yeah. And I said, I went from a now hiring, from looking for a job to now I'm hiring for my job.
You need somebody,
So it was kind of like an aha moment for me. And it was like, wow. So I went on Facebook on my personal page and I did a little testimony, because somebody, and honestly, after I wrote it, people were like, oh my God, I needed to hear that. Yeah. And people who were actually in business longer than me were like, thank you so much. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought they had made it. I thought they were there, So it was a good aha moment for me.
A lot of people say, oh yeah, we started 50 orders that day. No. So that's interesting.
It did not. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I thought it would be. Yeah.
I mean, you'd be surprised. Like me, the reason I started like this whole like podcast thing or whatever is because I was seeing there's a lot of like, not even just restaurants, but just businesses in Charlotte specifically that you'll never know unless you live in the area, or like because there's so many big corporations in Charlotte, big names, that sometimes the little guys get buried under the restaurants and NASCAR and the banking and all that stuff. Right. So that's definitely what I wanted to share. And like I said earlier, I'm not a food critic. My most important thing that I want to get out of these episodes is the stories behind the chefs, or the stories behind the businesses, because a lot of times food critics that I've seen are food critics, we'll quote unquote, the influencers. They focus on the food for sure, but they never really, a lot of them don't really focus on the story, the meat, the person, the people behind the restaurant. Right. I feel like that's almost as important as the food itself, because the food, you can make good food. A bad person can make good food. A boring person can make good food. But like, what's the story? Why did they come? And that's really what I feel like stick is.
And the thing about me is I love entertaining. So I bartended, I've ran hotels. It's always about seeing that smile or that first reaction when somebody eats your food. Yeah. And it's more to me than the food. I go out and I talk to my customers. Yep. If they're dining in, I make sure they're okay. I check on them. But that's just the hospitality side of me. Right. I make sure, like, it's a ghost kitchen, but I feel like my clients walk through that door. So I'm always out there wiping down tables and speaking to everybody. I may take samples of juice or something out. And when I had nobody and people were booming for other people, I would go out and be like, I made some juice? Would you use my homemade juice? And then it would start a war outside. Oh, I want one of those. And so some days I would sell nothing but juice.
Yeah. It must be that good then. Are some of these like your original creations or?
Yeah, everything is an original recipe.
Amazing, yeah. As I'm looking through the menu, I'm like, okay, this all looks so good. It's like the names of it is very appealing. Like you see swamp juice, it's like, what is that? Cajun lemonade, what is that?
And it's really crazy because like my boudin balls, none of the food providers here sells a lot of my stuff from Louisiana. So I have to order it elsewhere or I have to make it. So I make the actual boudin sausage from scratch.
Yeah. My aunt and uncle lived in New Orleans for a good 10, 15 years. And so I was exposed to a little bit of the New Orleans scene when I went down to visit them.
Okay.
So like, Bourbon Street, the beignets.
Oh yeah.
The seafood, just the culture a little bit as I'm there. And I think the most interesting thing that I found was the Mardi Gras scene. So like the king cakes and like the baby and the king cakes. I just all found it like really cool, like the festivals and all that stuff. So that was definitely my favorite part when I visited them. When Mardi Gras does happen, do you like change up your menu or add any like menu items to fit?
Well, since this is my first year, I probably will.
Yeah.
I do want to do beignets, but that is a process.
I can tell, yeah.
I would definitely need the people, a baker to help with that.
Yeah.
Because that's fresh dough, it's a process. And people say, are you going to ever do beignets? I want to so bad. And then like the food providers, they have beignets, but that's not the original beignet.
Right.
And I want my food to be authentic.
Of course. So something I was seeing online is people have a debate about if Café du Monde is a real New Orleans beignets. Do you think would you consider Café du Monde? Okay.
Absolutely.
There's some people, and I don't have a saying because I don't live there, but there are some people saying like, oh, that's not the real beignet, or that's just a tourist beignet, or
no, that's the original beignet.
Okay.
And it's cool because I get to work with the best of the best.
There you go.
He's a chef at one of the prestigious pubs here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
She's a chef. She's an Italian chef. She likes to make it. So it's just good to, network and meet good people and they have the same passion that I have about food. And, they don't know Creole, but she's learning it and she's like, oh, hey, look at this, look at this. So I am about to start assembling your po' boy.
Okay. So what is a po' boy for the viewers out there who may this be the first time hearing about it?
So a po' boy is a sandwich that back in the day, we like spiced it up a little bit and we put shrimp but a po' boy was pork.
Yeah.
So they would put whatever they could find in the refrigerator on a sandwich and call it a po' boy.
Po' boy, okay.
But we've gotten fancy and we add shrimp and we add salmon and we add catfish.
Yep.
And there we have it.
So what makes your po' boy special in the sense? Like what's your Miss Kristy's flair on that?
Well, I'm gonna say that it's an original po' boy using the original Gambino's bread from a bakery in New Orleans that started in New Orleans, and then the Creole mustard sauces and just making it the way they make it. It's nothing really added.
Yeah.
It's just using the fresh ingredients from New Orleans and. There you have it.
Taking it that way. Hey.
So really, it's just now salmon is because I added salmon. We don't typically do salmon po' boys at home, but a lot of people in Charlotte they don't eat catfish, and I just didn't want to carry whiting. I already carried salmon, so I was like, okay, salmon po' boy.
So what do you feel like the hardest part so far has been? The hardest, and then let's say most rewarding part about having your own kitchen.
The hardest part was just getting started, getting my name out there, getting people to try my food, not knowing what they were going to say about my food because, we have all this content that we're the best and this and that. And then they get because, everybody's not for everybody.
Yeah, of course, for sure.
So, I've had a few reviews that I'm at a 4.9 on Google. And one of them was because I didn't answer the phone.
Oh.
Well, when you get in here and you got pots going and water going, you know, sometimes you can't hear in here. It depends on how busy you are. So he didn't even taste my food, and he gave me a 2-star. No, he was like, he couldn't get through online, and then, so that bummed me out.
Yeah.
And then I read the comments. So if somebody says something, she goes, you gonna stop saying, you gonna stop, but it's personal.
Yeah, you gotta start looking at it, yeah.
It's 1 out of 25.
Right.
Or 100.
So this is your po' boy.
Okay.
Your salmon po' boy.
Oh, that looks amazing.
And then I'm going to get your fish and grits. Let me get your cheese sauce on, because the grits are ready and your fish is ready to assemble.
And I
didn't know if you wanted to take a picture of it. I can put it in the bag for you.
We can put it in the bag. I usually try it when I get back to the apartment. Just try it all at once.
I love it when somebody sits outside.
Yeah.
And I get to go and watch them take that first bite. And they do their head like this. I'm like, okay. And what's really genuine, you know, everybody, it's the world of content creators right now. So what's really genuine is the TikTok reviewers and the people that are doing it in real time with that, you know.
Yeah, it's easy to judge when you're not in front of the chef.
Right.
So it'll be a lot harder in front of you to judge either for good or bad.
Right.
So that's definitely interesting. I think like COVID really kind of made a boost to these TikTok influencers, or even like people like me who like go out and like talk to people because of the DoorDash and the Uber Eats, and so you can now sit in your car and make money by talking about food. Isn't that crazy? Right. That's so interesting. That's so.
And the thing is, I'm really not. When I travel, you know, if I'm in an area that is kind of sketchy and I get off work, I'll do DoorDash or Uber Eats if it's too late. I actually coined myself the hotel chef, because I would have a hot plate, a little skillet, a very, very small crock pot, and an air fryer, and I would cook
in your hotel
and make videos in my hotel.
Okay.
Not even knowing that it could have been a thing, right?
Yeah. So you did that before COVID?
No, after COVID.
After COVID, okay, cool.
Yeah. And because we would get an allowance to eat every day, but I just really didn't want to eat out the same thing. And then sometimes I was in places to where the food just wasn't great.
Right, yeah.
Like when I was in Hawaii, it was super expensive. You paid $30 for breakfast at McDonald's, you know? So I would just cook in my hotel room.
Yeah. Other than your own food, of course, where do you think the city or state has the best food that you've experienced so far?
I would definitely say Louisiana.
Okay, yeah, of course.
I would say that, but very second close would be Baltimore, Maryland.
Really? Baltimore? Okay.
I absolutely loved, it was no restaurant I went to that I didn't like. And then I'm a seafood person, so the fresh crab, I think that's probably why they get my second best. Yeah. Because I'm just a seafood person. Yeah. And it was very fresh seafood. Expensive, but crabs, amazing. Blue crabs, you can't really find blue crabs everywhere. Like down south, we boil them. So they don't, I guess they boil or steam, but it tastes more like home. And then it's really, really fresh crab.
That's interesting. Those are two very different parts of the country. So it makes sense that they're connected by seafood.
Yes.
Have you been to Charleston?
I have not been there yet. I do want to visit there. A lot of people from Charleston come to eat here.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
When they're in Charlotte, they're like, we saw you on TikTok and we're here.
Yep, I grew up on the second half of my life. My childhood was in Charleston on James Island. And I learned a lot about the Gullah Geechee community.
Geechee is what they call it? Okay.
Gullah Geechee.
I didn't know if that was an insult or not, but
from what I understand, living there, that's the name of the people, the Gullah Geechee, And just because I was born in Charlotte and my parents moved there, and so it was like a complete culture shock of just different food in Charlotte, different like lifestyle. You have an island lifestyle, Gullah Geechee people, and it was just all really interesting learning about the food and the traditions there. And there's a lot of similarities that I found between my time in New Orleans and Charleston. Such as, this is a weird topic, but like when it comes to like voodoo and hoodoo. Have you ever heard hoodoo? Yeah, so exactly. Yeah. So all that stuff is just interesting, different places, but of course people migrate and take their traditions with them wherever they go. So people mix and match wherever.
All right, we are about to plate up your grits. That cheese sauce is ready.
Okay. I'll just say, as we're wrapping up, what advice you have for chefs out there?
I'm considered a chef. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I think so. Or culinary experts will say.
Yeah, because I didn't go to culinary school. It was just all passion and just watching my dad.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I was in Baltimore and I love whole catfish. Honestly, I don't eat catfish fillets.
Yeah.
But I love the whole catfish. And I was like, I gotta find a place so I found a place. They were about to close. So they packaged it up for me. I get home and it's not skinned.
Oh.
I'm like, I can't. And I sat there and my dad was like, you might have a new hobby on your hand. Like, no. But I wanted it, so I skinned it. And I had never skinned a catfish before, but hey. But I guess it's to just never give up. If you have a passion to do whatever it is, whether it's cooking, whether it's owning your own business, this has been on my 5-year plan for about 15 years now.
Wow.
So it took me 15 years to get here. I'm 48 years old, about to be 49 next year. So it took me 15 years on a 5-year bucket list, 3 times to get here. So I would just tell them never give up, no matter how old you are, no matter how. And I did this with no startup capital. It was just you money out of. Well, I had my support system, my boyfriend, but we didn't have any money saved up.
Yeah.
We just stepped out on faith and said, "This what you want." He said, "This what you want. Let's go."
Let's go.
So he had to give me the push because I wouldn't have ever done it.
Right.
Because I'm so structured and so planned out. And I would have always waited till I could get the money or do this. I would have never done
what
it.
if? Like, wait.
It would have never took off.
Yeah.
So he kind of just said, there you go. And I'm grateful.
Yeah,
I'm grateful because I love it. People ask every day, up until a month ago, I was still looking for a job. Now it's like, I can't go back to work.
No.
For the simple fact, I can't give someone 100%.
Right.
Because I can't give them 100 and give my business 100.
Yep.
So if I can't give them my all, I just won't. I won't do it. That's just my integrity and my reputation.
Yeah.
So, and as bad as I would like the steady income, and I have great chefs that could probably, it just wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, of course.
I would always be worried about my baby.
Yeah. So you were mentioning before that you have, 2 sons.
A daughter and a son.
Oh, daughter and a son. Okay, excuse me. Do you hope to pass on the tradition of cooking this type of food with them, or if they would like?
They will. My daughter calls for recipes, and she's married now, so she's being the cooking for her husband. Yep. So she's more into trying to find recipes. My son, honestly, he grilled for his son's birthday, 3rd birthday. Father's Day weekend, and I was like, "Oh, these burgers are a little burnt, but good job." Because I asked him years ago, I said, "Hey, son, take out some, we call it salt meat back at home, and put it in some water." He put the whole bag, Ziploc bag. He said, "When you said put it in some water, you didn't say take it out." So I'm proud of him because. Yeah, he's not a kitchen person.
I got you.
But I definitely would love to have something to pass on to my grandson. So I definitely want to leave something for them.
Yeah, makes sense.
Something when they can say, that was my grandmother,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Go ahead and get out your hair and let you continue on with your Friday.
It's Big Mouthy.